Hi friends, good job scanning the QR code today. I'm here to help you talk you through lesson 2.1. This is extra practice about problem solving and organizing data. So let's read through this together. One way to show data is in a tally table. Another way to show data is in a frequency table. A frequency table, that's this word right here, uses numbers to record data. So this says the students in Jake's class voted for their favorite sport. How many more students chose soccer than chose baseball? So the key words to think about here are these words, how many more? Think about it. Does that tell you that you're doing addition, or does that tell you that you're doing subtraction? If I picture the anchor chart that I have in my classroom, I'm thinking that tells me that I have to do subtraction. So we're looking at the numbers for soccer and the numbers for baseball. And here's our tally table right here. So we have favorite sports. It's broken into sport and the tally number. Remember, 4 tally marks with a line across means that there are 5 tally marks. So when we read the problem, when we do the instructions down here, the first step is to read the problem. So the problem that we need to read is up here. It says, what do I need to find? The students in Jake's class voted for their favorite sport. How many more students chose soccer than chose basketball? So we need to find how many more students chose soccer than chose baseball. So that's the piece that we need to find. The next question we need to ask ourselves is, what information do I need to use? So the information that we need to use is the data about the favorite sports from the tally table. So we see that up here in the top in this chart. The next question that this chapter asks us to ask is, how will I use the information? So we are going to use the information by counting the tally marks. Remember that each tally mark represents 1. Then I will write the number of tally marks for each sport in the frequency table. Next, I will subtract to compare the votes for soccer and the votes for baseball. So when it comes time to solve the problem, we count the tally marks for each sport and we write the numbers in the frequency table. So it's important, right here it says think. 1 line equals 1 vote, and 4 straight lines with a diagonal across the top means it's 5 votes. So soccer has 1 group of 5 and 4 ones. So we are going to write the number 9 next to soccer in the frequency table. So remember, a frequency table is different from a tally table because in a frequency table, we write the numbers, whereas in a tally table, we only use tally marks. So the next step is to subtract to find how many more students chose soccer than baseball. So they got 6 here in the frequency table because they counted a group of 5 plus 1, which equals 6. And then for football, they got 4 because they had 4 sticks, which means each one represents 1. So we can count 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are going to subtract to find how many more students chose soccer than chose baseball. So we are going to take the bigger number, which is the number of soccer players, and we are going to subtract the number of baseball players, and we get the answer 3. So then we put it into a sentence. 3 more students chose soccer than chose baseball as their favorite sport. Now, if we go down here, there are some questions it wants us to answer. How many students chose football and baseball combined? So here I see this important word, combined. Combined tells me that I'm going to add the 2 numbers together. So we are going to look at the frequency table for the football number, and we're going to look at the frequency table for the baseball number. So when I add when I combine football and baseball, I'm going to be doing 6 plus 4 equals, and I'm going to add those two numbers together. You can add those two numbers together in any way that helps you best. You can use your fingers. You can use some counting chips. If you don't have counting chips at home, you can choose anything to count, or you can use a number chart. So once you add 6 plus 4, then you're going to go on to problem number 2. How many fewer students chose football than chose soccer? So remember, we're going to go to those operation clues. And we're going to box them. How many fewer? I know how many fewer tells me that I'm going to do subtraction. So I'm going to look at the score for football, and I'm going to look at the score for soccer. And I'm going to take the bigger number first, because remember, we always start when we're doing subtraction with the bigger number. So I'm going to take the number for soccer because it's bigger, and I'm going to subtract the number of people for football because we're doing football and soccer. So the number of soccer players minus the number of football players tells me what answer. And on the line, remember, you need to write a sentence. So blank amount of people, refresh that. Take back what Miss Miller just said. So you're going to say, there were blank fewer football players than soccer players. All right? And then you are done with your extra practice for this lesson. Great job, friends.